Serene atmosphere greets visitors as they arrive the Zawachiki Dala inland dry port in Kano State, northern Nigeria. After 20 years of its creation, the Dala dry port has been finally declared a port of origin and final destination by the Minister of Transportation, a crucial step before its commissioning so it can begin commercial activities.
By the provisions of the Nigerian Ports Authority Act, I hereby declare Dala Inland Dry Port as a port of origin and final destination.
The port director, Rabiu Ahmad, explains why the project has dragged on for so long.
This suffered undue delay because when initially the concessionaires were asked to give submission, expression of interest, and other developments, they did that on account that government was going to build, equip, and man the relevant facilities, and the appointed concessionaires were just going to manage and attain required thresholds of capacity using their technical expert capacity and linkages to attain certain threshold in efficiency and volume, and then after some be rendering returns to government and then return the facilities to government after a certain period or renew appropriately.
It's located in a community where the residents are mostly traders, and they are expectant that it will bring development to the area.
Dry port will bring many things like work. We have light, our business will improve more. We'll get more money.
The Dala dry port is set to be commissioned by the federal government soon.
To tell us more about the Dala Inland Dry Port, we're being joined by its Managing Director, Mr. Rabiu Ahmad. A pleasure having you with us. He joins us live from our studios in Kano. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the federal government has declared the Dala Inland Dry Port in Kano State as a port of origin and destination. That's a major step to making it function like a seaport. But what's the implication of this? Tell us more about that.
Thank you so very much. Destination and origin, simply put, is that shipment could begin their journey to an ultimate destination abroad for our export from our facility, the Dala Inland Dry Port at Zawachiki in Kumbozo local government area, and also means that the facility is to serve a destination for all our imports from wherever, any continent in the world, to our facility, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from all over the world. The cargo will be destined to Dala Inland Dry Port, Zawachiki, Kumbozo local government area. Origin and destination, no break. It is customary with cargo being transshipped. That is, if it takes off from an origin in Delhi, for instance, it will perhaps go to Antwerp, and at that point, some cargo from the ship that brought the general cargo from Delhi could be part going to Europe, part coming to Africa, could be offloaded from the original vessel into another, and then it continues and ends its journey at the ultimate destination. So in our case, any cargo that leaves anywhere in the world and comes to Apapa or Tinkan or Wari or Safalesi ports will be transiting, just like the one in from Delhi transited at Antwerp. It will also be like that when it comes to Apapa or Tinkan. It will just transit. The cargo owner has nothing to do at the Tinkan or Apapa port. The cargo will continue on its journey, bringing the sea and land transport by rail or road to the ultimate destination. This is what it is. Cargo owners in Kano will be able to receive their cargo from wherever they order it without having to go to the seaport cities. It will come into the hinterland, our location, and its ultimate destination.
So, Mr. Ahmad, from your explanation, it's obvious that the Dala Inland Dry Port is really crucial, not just to Kano, but to the Nigerian economy. But why did it take so long, 20 years, for us to get to this point?
Well, it is a novel outing. It is the first time it is happening in Nigeria. When we started it, I can make bold to say we started in Kano as unsolicited public partnership offer to the federal government. We sought to permission of government to establish a dry port and we thought we were just going to be given a permission, but then it was subject to review, and the agency of government that has been established for the protection of the interests of Nigerian shippers, importers and exporters, the Nigerian Shippers Council, considered our request as good, and they appointed international consulting firm called Hamburg Consulting in year 2002, which undertook a study and gave a report, which the Nigerian Shippers Council, through the Ministry of Transportation, escalated to the Federal Executive Council, and the Federal Executive Council approved the scheme. That was in year 2002, and by 2003, the Federal Executive Council under President Olusegun Obasanjo approved that we could go on to establish 6 pilot inland ports, which is, included Kano itself, Isialongwa in Abia State, Erumo in Ibadan, Funtua, Maiduguri, and Jos. Those ones were the pilot ones approved. But at the time of approval, after we had gotten appointed in 2003, President Olusegun Obasanjo said he was privatizing other business enterprises of government. Why should he now invest more money to do the project? And according to the concept that we agreed, that is government to build, to equip, to man, and then we were to, as experts, to just operate it, bring our expertise, make sure that services were delivered efficiently and attain certain threshold of returns, render returns to government, and not have the concession being rolling over or renewed if we do well. On account of that, he said, no investment from government. He said, you, the appointed concessionaires, should go and build, equip, man, and manage in the same vein, attain the threshold, and then it will now be returned to government under the scheme of build, own, operate, and transfer, a public partnership scheme. Now, arrangement. So when that happened in 2003, and it took us to 2006, under Honorable Minister Precious Fayos Sekibo, before we eventually signed on 26 May, we signed the concession. Now, so many things happened. Are Ago Farokoi of Ibadan Land, Adebayo Sarumi started the project while he was at the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers Council, and then there was a very big turnover, both in the Shippers Council and in the Ministry of Transportation. Because of those changes, after we signed the concession, we were supposed to have been given 2 things. First, land free of encumbrances, serviced land free of encumbrances. And we were supposed to also be given the Gazette, showing that government had recognized us as port of origin. That bit was supposed to have happened on the 26th of May, 2006. Regrettably, the high turnover in the Ministry of Transportation. Whenever any minister comes, he comes in with a new rule. The erstwhile immediate past Minister of Transportation, when he came, rather than oblige our request and say, look, you ought to have been given, he said, no, you must attain to a 60% level of development. And we set out to deliver on 60% because he was minister, he had authority, and even though it was our right, we were denied, but we went on. And we delivered 60%, 80%, and then the minister resorted to asking us to do landscaping, to do a primary school and all that. Now, to the glory of God, before he left, he acknowledged during his very last visit to the facility in March earlier this year that we had completed everything and he was going to call Mr. President to commission us. And of course, he said we should just work on landscape. You can see the report. I'm sure you have it. So that is what really has happened. The erstwhile minister is the only minister that stayed in the ministry for the length of period that any minister stayed in the Ministry of Transportation. All the earlier ones, some were for 1.5 years, some for 2.5 years at most. And so the novel nature was the main cause. And we are happy, to the glory of God, that now we have been given what we ought to have been given 20 years ago. And we are focused and set to be commissioned and commence operations. So
many rivers you and your agency had to cross there. But talking about the commissioning, talking about the commissioning, when will that be happening?
We are hopeful that since we are very ready, at the time we were declared, we were actually ready for commissioning because we had finished all construction works, we had finished equipping, we had finished hiring experts, we had entered into different partnerships with expert organizations. We have an understanding and working arrangement with CFAX Group as a waterfront terminal. We have got quite a number of linkages that we have already touched base. And every facility, we have internet service, we've got the Microsoft licenses, and we've got GEMS consulting setting the stage. We have already done the test run. Everything about us is ready. We are ready for commissioning. So what we are hopeful now is within the next 1 to 2 months at the most, we shall be commissioned and to commence operations. We have done the rail siding into our facility. We must appreciate Nigerian Shippers Council for the superintendence over the issues. Since the erstwhile also Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers Council took office, because we had been friends and we had been working on it, Barrister Hassan Bello, he came in and he did quite a lot of work to ensure that everything we were doing was consistently followed. And that is how with his length of stay, which was like also the length of stay of the erstwhile Minister of Transportation, we were able to achieve the mileage that we achieved. If there had been any changes in those two, either the Shippers Council or the Minister of Transportation, perhaps would have suffered another major setback. Now, Right Honorable Barrister Jimmy came and he himself took it like he started it. And he has done a fantastic job supporting us. Emmanuel Jime has done a fantastic job making sure that we continue at the speed that he made and even increase the speed. Because the way he also did, since he came in, he has visited us 3 times or 4 times to ensure that we were on track and also achieved greater mileage.
The Managing Director, Dala Inland Dry Port, Kano, Mr. Rabiu Ahmad, a pleasure sharing your thoughts with us on the program.